Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here and welcome back to SpinTires MudRunner, where we're going to be previewing a mod that has not been released yet. This is a Dodge WC51 and it is a brand new mod from the DCMT modding team. Now, this particular truck, very interesting because there's a lot of detail that goes into it. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard of the DCMT modding team before, and they've made a few different vehicles. They made a few different Jeeps. They've made some they've actually made a good bit of Jeeps. But what we're going to be looking at with this truck is the fact that they've really turned up the level of detail that you're going to be seeing in this particular model. So there's so many details that are kind of below the surface of this mod that it's really hard to just go over all of them when you're just looking around the truck. But you can also see really cool detail, minor detail, but the steering linkage moves with the truck, which I was like, oh, that's cool. So you've got 55-gallon fuel drums you can put in the back. There's a custom top you can put on it if you really want it. You can put a fuel trailer on it, which there we go, and I'll take that off in a second. But you can have the top on it if you want, you can have the fuel trailer on it if you want, or you can remove it and stick a log trailer on it to actually, like, if you actually want to get work done. So I'm personally going to run it like this. I think this is actually, you know what? I'm going to run it without the top because I think it looks cool without the top. I think it looks really retro without the top. But let's stop by the fuel station and fill up the fuel drums just so we can kind of get a sense of what it's like with full fuel. The steering wheel also does turn when you're going along, but also keep in mind, I'm sure there's going to be people that are like, oh, there's no driver, blah, 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 blah. The only reason for that, I mean, dude, this mod is not actually fully done yet, so that's why this is a preview and not like a full review. But if we go into the cockpit cam, you can see that the steering wheel moves, there's all, you got your shifters down there. It looks like the transfer case is actually a twin stick, which is really cool in my book. But, we took a terrible line into that, didn't we? We took a terrible line, and now we're going to have to... There we go. Now, it does have a lot of grip with the all-wheel drive and the diff lock engaged. Let me check the map real quick. You know what I've never done on this map? I have never turned right here. I have always turned left. So, I feel like, hey, why don't we turn right? We're testing out a new vehicle. Why not test out a part of the map that you haven't really been on before? And which is kind of funny because it's right by the garage, yet I always turn right and never turn left. And I wonder if that's if that, like, goes along with, like, on a subconscious level, if that goes along somewhat with being, like, right-handed or something. It's kind of weird, like, when you think about stuff like that, you're like, oh, I wonder if that kind of plays a role in, like, kind of always making the decision to turn... Wait a minute. No, I turned right instead of left. I always turned left on this map. Why the heck did I get that confused? Okay, that's really weird. That makes absolutely no sense to me, and I don't know why I got confused with it, but this thing, if you look at the detail, I mean, you look at the detail on the seats, you look at the detail on the steering wheel, the sticks, the bed itself, the seats, the chains, that hold up the... They're not really seats, you could use them as seats, but, like, the bed seating that's held up by the chains. There's a lot of rendering and detail that goes into this truck. He actually told me, he was like, be a little bit careful with how you run this truck, just because he hasn't tested it fully yet and he doesn't know how it's going to react. But that's definitely it's like a consideration whenever you're testing trucks that, whoa, that haven't been really released yet. But I am going to crawl down this hill. This is ridiculously steep. Now, turn right. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Please get your... Yeah, there you go. I was like, please right yourself. Park and brake, please. That'll do. I mean, it worked, right? We're down the hill. We didn't necessarily take a very orthodox way down the hill, but I'll roll with it. We'll put it in low 3. We'll kind of just roll along in low 3. We've got a bush caught in the front end, which, actually, I wonder what that looks like in cockpit cam. I'm about to laugh, I'm sure. Oh, come on. I'm playing with the keyboard instead of the controller this time around, so... Oh, it's gone! Well, that's convenient. It disappeared the second I went into cockpit cam, so... it's good. Now, going up this hill, you get a little bit of wheel slip. There's mostly grip. I would say it's I would say it's mostly grip over slip, but you feel these, you know, these little points of slip every once in a while, which is very realistic feeling, and I like how they engineered that into the truck. I don't know if that's part of the tune, like that they actually meant to put that in, or if that's just part of the fact that it's still in development. But I like the tune so far. It definitely feels like it's got a good balance of grip versus slip, and I think that they would do well to stick with that. But I think also that it would be a nice thing to maybe improve on a little bit if they want to tune it anymore. I think that it's definitely something that could be improved if they wanted to, but it doesn't necessarily need to. It's not like, oh my god, the tune needs work. It's a really good tune. I think it's a really good tune, but you wouldn't necessarily expect something like this to flex a ton. I mean, it's not a super flexy setup. It's not a super flexy rig. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's been converted to coilovers and 1-tons and stuff like that. You know, if it was, then, or if it had been, then flex would obviously be one of the major standout points of the build and the tune. But since it hasn't been, you know, built that way, it's been built a lot more in a lot more of a realistic and retro way. That seems to this kind of tune seems to fit it. Now, the DCMT guys seem like they prefer to do a lot of realistic style builds, and I really like that. I really respect that. I think that it's good to have, because across the SpinTires, you know, the old SpinTires community, and then now you have the Mudrunner community, you have a lot of different styles of modding, right? You have your people that build crawlers with coilovers. You have your people that take, you know, say a stock Jeep and then modify it into something with, you know, 1-ton axles and bead locks and 40s or 42s or whatever. And then you have guys that like to build realistic rigs with minimal mods, but that still get the job done. It's like, for example, people that like to take, you know, let's say a Jeep Cherokee and add, you know, a couple inches of lift, slightly grippier mud terrain tires, but not go too crazy. And I think that's like what a lot of the DCMT guys seem to like to do. Now, don't get me wrong, they can build crawlers if they want, but a lot of what they seem to like to focus on is the more realistic side of things. And then for just cruising through the woods, this thing is awesome. And I also feel like if you were going to do a lot of log hauling, this would actually be a really good replacement for something like a UAZ, because it's a lot grippier than a UAZ. It's a lot, like, you know, it's got a much stickier, beefier setup than the UAZ does. But at the same time, it's also a little bit more, it's a little bit more focused than a UAZ, I think, and it can definitely do a lot more work, and it could also be used as a rescue vehicle a lot more effectively, I think, than a UAZ could. So you're dealing with a lot of different parameters here for this vehicle, but I think that it could really shine in terms of a scouting slash workhorse slash rescue and repair if need be. So definitely think that it's going to be worth adding to your collection when it comes out officially, and I am definitely going to be using it a good bit as a support vehicle. If I'm doing like a full run through of a map, this will definitely be on my list of vehicles to use. But I'm actually going to pop it back into automatic mode real quick, because I feel like, there we go. Oh god, not reverse please, automatic, there we go. Because once you pop it into automatic, it actually, you have to kind of keep your foot, I say foot, you know, you kind of have to keep the throttle control, you like actually kind of keep an eye on the throttle control itself, because there's a lot of little, you know, little bits and pieces of this transmission setup that makes it very torquey and very peppy. It really gets out of the hole quick, and that's something that you don't see a lot, especially with these older style vehicles, because a lot of them are made to be slow. Especially in automatic mode, a lot of them are made to be slow. So, let me see where I am on the map. Here. Oh, no. Okay, that's fine. Where is a good spot to... No! Not that. I want to find some challenging terrain. You know what I'm going to do? Dude, I'm going to go freaking trailblazing. I'm going to just go right off the main track and head out into the woods. What's nice about this map is a lot of the trees out here are breakable. So I really do appreciate a lot of the trees being breakable. I mean, that was something that that Ozzy kind of, you know, engineered into this map himself. And of course, I mean, he made this map. This map's in progress right now. But this thing is just flying through here in 6th gear. Holy crap! I did not think it was going to maintain this kind of speed through this kind of terrain while pushing over trees, or dead trees anyway. But it's, I mean, it's climbing over this one, and it's just, you know, easily. We may be a little bit stuck now. If you could, oh god. I was gonna say, if you could, like, not get yourself into a deadly position, that would be optimal. Absolutely optimal. Oh god. Flopping a bit. Oh geez. Let's see. Release switch. Advanced mode. Or exit advanced mode. See if I can get it to go up into second and then put it in high. There we go. Because once it's in high, it should stay there and it should just rip up the hill. I need to check the map again to verify that I'm not, like, way out in the middle of the wilderness. I was trying to take a quick shortcut just to see, like, if I could get, you know, closer to any difficult terrain, and I think I may somewhat be on the right. Oh, dude, I found a trail. Okay, beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. Oh, this is pretty much exactly where I wanted to be, too. That's awesome. So, you know what? We're gonna go... Wait. What does the... Ooh. You know, I mean, I'm trying to think, because we know this thing can climb, we know this thing can crawl, and I definitely think that it's worth keeping an eye on this truck. Definitely keep an eye on all of the DCMT trucks, because they're coming out with some really cool ones now, and I am definitely going to keep an eye on them. I think you guys should keep an eye on them too. Make sure you click that like button if you enjoyed this video and this, like, little preview of this mod and of this truck. I really enjoyed driving it, and I think it'll be a good scout vehicle, rescue vehicle, support vehicle combination, even a workhorse if you need it as one. But hope you guys did enjoy this video, and make sure you click that subscribe button and come back soon for more previews of mods, as well as gameplay from other games that I think you guys will be interested in. So again, hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.